One of his shots can change the outcome of a fight instantly. He fights with such an intensity that when the bell rings, he seems to be on a seek and destroy mission. At only 22 years of age, Lawler's future in the UFC looks bright. But can he get past jiu-jitsu specialist Nick Diaz?
When you're in the fight, it's just running on instinct. You're not thinking about anything. You're thinking about fighting and winning. So you don't have time to think, oh man, I just clocked that guy.
Nick Diaz trains in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under the highly respected Cesar Gracie. Even though he's known for his excellent submissions, Nick has been training hard in boxing and feels he will prevail wherever the fight ends up taking place. This should be a great fight between two very hungry young contenders.
He's a tough guy, and you know, he's real strong. You got to watch out, you know, because he's coming with hard punches, and you know, he's got knockout power. But I think he looks a little sloppy. I think he thinks he's a little bit better than he is.
Both are just youngsters still developing as mixed martial artists daily. The 22-year-old against the 20-year-old. Only an inch of reach will not be a huge difference. This has fireworks written all over it. Let's get it going. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is 3 5-minute rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, the fighter standing to my left. This man is an expert in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. He holds a mixed martial arts record of 8 wins with 2 losses and 1 draw. Standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at 168 pounds. Fighting out of Stockton, California. Please welcome Nick Diaz! And now introducing his opponent, standing to my right. This man is an expert in the Militich fighting systems. He holds a mixed martial arts record of 8 wins with 1 loss. Standing 5 feet, 11 inches tall, weighing in at 169 pounds. Fighting out of Davenport, Iowa. Please welcome Ruthless Robbie Lawler.
Some are wondering if Robbie Lawler, and no disrespect to Matt Hughes, is not the next great welterweight to come out of the Militich camp. Steve Mazzagatti, our referee.
You ready? You ready? Bring it on, come on!
Lawler and Diaz welterweights are underway.
Nick Diaz coming out with a hopping sidekick.
Will Diaz try to work the legs of Robbie Lawler?
You know, the word from Cesar Gracie's camp is that Nick Diaz has some really great strikes. He's much improved, and he's only a 20-year-old kid, too. It's very unusual for Robbie Lawler to be the older guy in the ring.
Oh, he's taunting him a bit. Look at this.
Wow.
He's got the center of the ring.
I didn't expect this at all.
Not at all.
Like that. Let's go.
An unusual thing about Robbie Lawler that I've heard is that he really doesn't like to warm up. He likes to just come out and fight. And that has actually been speculated that it's the cause of some of his injuries, like maybe that hip injury to Pete Spratt.
Oh, my! Diaz
right
gets the
hand.
first right. And look at that, the smile. Oh, a combination. And Diaz took some punishment there. Diaz leading with the right jab.
Diaz fights a nice jab.
And
Diaz
a jab again.
big right hand.
by
Diaz is
Lawler.
rocked. Diaz is rocked.
Does Diaz really want to mess with fire here? Does he really want to go toe-to-toe with Robbie Lawler?
You know, like we said, Diaz has those fights with Jeremy Jackson under his belt, and he's very confident fighting a tough, dangerous striker.
That jab is lightning quick and pretty powerful from Robbie Lawler.
And so is Diaz. Diaz is actually a very tall guy, too, which might be throwing Robbie off a little bit. And I don't think he expected Diaz to come at him this aggressively. Nice
Diaz
clinch.
with a knee. Lawler dancing, straight kick and a missed right. Just underway, first of 3 5-minute rounds. Welterweights, Lawler and Diaz. Content to go toe-to-toe thus far. This one has sudden ending written all over it.
Wow, I just never expected this. I never expected to see him taunting Robbie like this and standing in front of him with his hands down. That's crazy. I would have thought he would have taken him right to the
open
ground.
hand slap by Diaz.
Oh, he
a swing for the fences.
Wow. Robbie Lawler got rocked.
No talking.
He got rocked and he got angry.
Yes, he did.
Steve Mazzagatti said no talking. I didn't know that that was a rule.
Did you see the change in facial expression of Robbie Lawler?
He got very angry, but you know what? When you're hurt and you're angry, you come in wide like that, you can get knocked out. This is what Nick Diaz was talking about before when he said that he thinks that Robbie Lawler thinks he's a lot better than he is.
Diaz going toe-to-toe, fighting in Lawler's world. Look for the shoot. 2:23 remains in the first round.
Wow, shoulder shot.
Nick Diaz, Joe, is 20 years old.
Yeah, well, you know what? Like I said before, he's much improved. The guy's constantly improving, and the word had been that Nick Diaz has excellent strikes. The only time I had seen him was against Jeremy Jackson. It looked like he was avoiding the striking game. But you know what? When you're 20, man, you improve quick. You know, especially if you live, breathe, and eat fighting like Nick Diaz does. I just never expected to see Robbie Lawler backing up the jiu-jitsu fighter Nick Diaz.
Has Nick Diaz gotten into the head of Robbie Lawler here in round one?
You know what? Only Robbie Lawler knows that for sure, but it looks like it.
Nick will be happy to close the gap for a little bit here. Try to work the legs. Remember, Spratt worked the legs in Robbie's only mixed martial arts loss.
The thing is, does Nick Diaz stand in front of Robbie Lawler and play with danger?
What's with the hands up there? What's with the
just
hands?
faking him out, just playing with him. The problem is if Robbie connects, Robbie can put you to sleep. I mean, you know, you think you've got him, you don't think he's dangerous, you think you're kicking his ass, but if he rocks you, like here.
Yep. A high kick. Diaz slipped and Robbie closed in. Diaz slipped and Robbie closed in to score some points.
Robbie is always dangerous. There is never say die in this guy.
These are not boxing gloves in which they are wearing.
Absolutely.
Keep that in mind.
Very good point. These are 4-ounce baby gloves that do nothing but cover the knuckles. I mean, you know, it's almost like getting punched bare knuckle.
Diaz coming in, leading right.
So what I was going to say is, except you can actually punch harder. Nick Diaz's nose is bleeding.
Yep. But Diaz still taking the center of the ring and moving in.
Nice combination. Big right hand.
A straight right is answered. Lawler trying with the combination again. Just missed with the right uppercut.
But Nick Diaz is moving away pretty nice. Feinted him.
20 seconds remains in round one.
Robbie's swinging that jab out there.
High kick. Diaz.
What is that? Karate Kid style stuff.
Daniel Miyagi has arrived in the octagon. What an entertaining round number one.
Unexpected. Unexpected results here. Wow. Whoa.
Who do you give it to? Diaz said that was after the horn. Wow, that will be a tough one for the judges to score.
Let's take a look at some of the action from round one. A nice right hand and then left. Boom. Robbie Lawler looks rocked and he comes right back. You see it again? Oh, that's a big right hand by Lawler. And a nice jumping knee. Heavy action in that round. But I'd have to give that round to Nick Diaz.
When Robbie Lawler pushed in near the end of the round, it was because Diaz lost his way in the octagon, bumped himself off balance into the fence.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Robbie's got a chance right now in his corner to talk to his people and try to regroup and figure out what's going on. I don't think he expected that from Nick Diaz. Let's see if he comes out in the second round in a different way to try to adjust to what's going on here in the octagon.
Nick Diaz. Robbie, ruthless Robbie Lawler.
Unbelievable. I can't believe this fight hasn't gone to the ground yet. I never expected to see a stand-up battle where Nick Diaz taunting Robbie Lawler and outboxing him.
Right. And another combination. A good straight right there by Robbie Lawler. Pat Miletich told me yesterday, it's no longer enjoyable to spar with Robbie Lawler. Not even a little bit of fun. And that's with real boxing gloves on.
Oh, yeah, he's got nasty power. But you know what? To use that power, you got to connect. And Nick Diaz is doing a very good job of dictating the pace and outboxing Robbie Lawler, and more importantly, backing him up. This is not something Robbie Lawler likes. He likes to press the action. He doesn't like to be bullied. He's being pushed around. He's being towed.
At one point, though, Joe, do we find out that he's biting off more than he can chew?
He might not be. I mean, Robbie might be biting off more than he can chew. We're going to find out.
Well, Robbie's not one to shoot and try to bring to the mat.
The other thing that throws you off about Nick Diaz is he's a southpaw. He leads with his right hand, and everything comes right. Oh, nice body shot by Robbie Lawler.
But Jens Pulver, a training partner of Robbie, is a southpaw.
Sure, but Jens Pulver's 5'7".
A great point.
Nick Diaz is a very tall guy, and I'm very impressed with his striking. He looks very calm in there, too. And again, that could be because he's got experience.
Combination. Diaz knocks down Robbie Lawler. And it's all over.
Robbie Lawler
And
out
it's all over. Nick Diaz has knocked out Robbie Lawler.
Robbie doesn't want to accept it. He doesn't want to accept it, but it is over.
They are on their
Unbelievable.
feet here at Mandalay Bay.
Unbelievable performance.
Nick Diaz has pulled off the unexpected. He has knocked out Robbie Lawler.
Robbie still doesn't want to accept it. He's still wobbling around the octagon saying he's okay. Unbelievable. He's gone over to congratulate Nick Diaz. Incredible performance. Completely unexpected. Let's take a look at the replay again. Here's from the overhead. Robbie connects with a couple punches, leaves himself open, gets rocked with a big right hook. Face down. Referee Steve Mazzagatti looks like he's going to stop it, but he let it go on a little. Here comes the right hook. Bang! In the exchange. Shut him off. Let's take another look at it. Wild punches, hands down, bang, right on the button. Beautiful short right hook from Nick Diaz. Jiu-jitsu stylist, shows that he's got multi-talented skills.
Robbie Lawler has lost to Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz has outstruck the striker. And Robbie Lawler goes right over and congratulates Nick Diaz. I literally right now have chills because if Nick Diaz was going to win, no one imagined it would be in this fashion. And Joe and I talked about it. Was he biting off more than he could chew? And Joe says maybe Robbie Lawler is biting off more than he could chew, and that turned out to be prophetic. Nick Diaz victorious. Bruce Buffer.
Fix my hair.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner by knockout at 1 minute 31 seconds of the second round. For the winner, Nick Diaz.
Nick Diaz shocks the mixed martial arts world. Joe Rogan is inside the octagon.
Nick Diaz, congratulations. How many people do you think would have picked you to win by knockout over Robbie Lawler?
Nobody, everybody was telling me I'm going to get knocked out. They hear about the fight, they're like, yeah, you're going to get knocked out. You know, they don't say that, but, you know, you could tell you all over their face. But, you know, I trained hard in my boxing, so I knew he was going to beat me stand-up. And, you know, I watched his fights. And
your reputation has always been a jiu-jitsu fighter. What made you, when you came into this fight, what made you decide to stand up with Robbie and not try to take him to the ground?
Stand up the whole time. I'm trying to get him to take me down so I can tap him out. But, you know, you want to stay up, so that's what happens.
Well, let's take a look at the fight. Let's take a look at some of the replays here on the board. Fantastic performance. Here's the knockout. He's swinging wild. Boom! Right hook on the button.
That's my hook.
Let's take a second look at that and give me your thoughts on it.
Well, I land that hook a lot. Kind of comes over the top and lands sometimes, you know. My brother, he's got real long reach. I train with him a lot, so, you know, landing punching on Robbie's, it's a little bit easier because he's got, you know, he's a little bit shorter, so.
What did you see in Robbie's earlier fights that let you think that he was going to be open for that?
You know, he punches hard. I've seen, you know, I've seen him get, you know, I just seen he's got shorter arms. That's all. I knew I'd land my punch if I throw it, so I was just throwing that hook. Well, I want to thank my sponsors. Listen, Green Bay Landscaping and Max Muscle Stockton